Because of the zombie apocalypse, the survivors had to use even a club as a shelter. The club's manager was trying to calm down a little girl who had lost her mom to the zombies, but his employee approached him and whispered that the zombies were attacking again. They are trying to hide the matter from the little girl, so the manager also told her that he just needed to attend a small meeting, and he also asked the little girl to wait for him while promising that he would return. The manager gathered the club employees and equipped them with baseball bats and Molotov cocktails before going out. They were determined to defend the club and protect the survivors inside, even at the cost of their lives. At the same time, Akira made his way to Shinjuku while riding his motorcycle, and like he had expected, it has more zombies compared to other places, but it wouldn't stop him, and he is also certain that the zombies weren't enough to kill his friend Kensho. Since he doesn't have to work anymore, Akira decided to grow a cool beard. However, it wasn't going as he expected, so instead of waiting for it to fully grow, he took out a marker and drew the beard he wanted on his chin. But after seeing it, he gave up on growing a beard and removed it from his bucket list. After going out of the bathroom, Akira was wondering what he should do for the day when he noticed his phone had new messages. He was happy because of this, as it also meant that the internet was back. After checking the messages, he realized that he had turned down invite after invite because he was stuck at work. And now he wishes he could finally see all these people. After reading the messages, he didn't have anything to do again, and he realized that he had sacrificed the time he could spend with his friends for nothing. After checking his phone again, he saw Kensho's name, so he remembered the time when Kensho advised him to leave his job. Then Akira tried calling him, thinking that there was no way he would die to the zombies. At the same time, Kensho was inside his hotel room, checking the hallways to look for a way out. However, it was occupied by zombies, so he had no choice but to stay in his room. Although he was safe in his room, he only had water for 3 days, and he had just finished his last bottle of water. He felt lucky that he was playing around drunk in the bondage room before the zombie apocalypse broke out. But he was losing his mind because he had been stuck with a zombie for several days already. And because he was starving and exhausted, he was wondering if it would be his end. Kensho was about to lose consciousness, but he suddenly remembered his time in college when he was on the rugby team with Akira. He remembered how Akira had always laughed at his silly jokes and thought their time in college was the best days. At the same time, he noticed that someone was calling on his phone, and he was shocked that it was Akira. Akira was overjoyed when Kensho picked up the call. He was happy that his friend was alive, and he immediately asked Kensho to meet up and have a drink. He noticed that Kensho didn't sound that happy, but Kensho was more surprised that Akira still sounded so hyped, even with the world's situation. Akira told him that he would explain when they meet before asking Kensho for his location. And after Kensho said that he was in Shinjuku, Akira told him that he would go to his location. Kensho thought it was impossible, and he also dissuaded Akira from coming since the place was swarming with zombies, but Akira just asked him to send his exact address before dropping the call. Akira rode his motorcycle on his way to Shinjuku. Then it is revealed that Kensho and Akira went through a lot together in college during their 4 years at the rugby club. And although Kensho was handsome, a smooth talker, and popular, he would always go all out to be the life of the party. After college, while he was stuck in an exploitative company, Kensho became a successful real estate agent because of his natural talent for communication, and he even had a model girlfriend, so everything was going well for him. Akira complained that Kensho was obnoxious when he was bragging about his personal life, as he is jealous and didn't have the patience to listen to someone else's success while he was suffering in his company. Despite all of this, Kensho showed that he cares for Akira as he persistently tried to convince Akira to leave his company when he noticed that he was just being exploited. But Akira chose to stay in his company and distance himself from Kensho. Even after this, Kensho is still his closest friend, and he was determined to save him. Meanwhile, Shu was the only one left from his group who was trying to protect the club. The rest of his employees have been infected and transformed into zombies. Because of this, Shu had already accepted his end, and he could only regret that he couldn't keep his promise to the little girl. However, the zombies stopped approaching him and went in the opposite direction. They were attracted by a loud noise. Shu couldn't understand what happened, and he asked himself if he was finally safe. At the same time, while Kensho was wondering what the noise was, the zombies inside the hotel started leaving, and all of them were walking in the direction of the noise. Akira was responsible for the noise. He used a car's horn to attract the zombies before going to the hotel. Kensho couldn't understand how the zombies had disappeared, but he used this chance to leave his room. Kensho walked towards the exit, where he met Akira. He was shocked that Akira really came. Akira was crying while admitting his mistake. He admitted that he should have listened to Kencho's advice to leave his company. Then he apologized for being jealous of Kencho's success and happiness and for taking out his anger on his own friend. Kencho couldn't believe that Akira came to him just to apologize. But before he could say anything to the crying Akira, the zombies came back, attracted by Akira's shout, so they had no choice but to run to the rooftop. Afterwards, Akira blocked the door using multiple air conditioners. However, it wasn't enough, so Kencho panicked while thinking of what they should do. Kencho couldn't think of any solutions, so he asked Akira. However, Akira suggested that they jump to the next building. Kencho was against it, thinking that it was impossible. But Akira jumped to the next building without hesitation. Although he had some minor injuries, Akira managed to reach the next building, and he also urged Kencho to follow him. However, Kencho apologized instead, saying that he couldn't jump. Afterwards, he admitted to Akira that he actually didn't enjoy his job at all. Day after day, he had to smile while lying on other people's faces to trick them into bad contracts. The praise from his higher-ups, his company's acknowledgement, the gorgeous models he dated, dining out with big politicians and athletes. None of it made him happy. He was just showing off and lying to himself to feel less empty inside. He was pretending to be having fun, and he also admitted that he was a horrible person for always bragging. Then he apologized to Akira for everything. Akira accepted his apology. Then he thought it made sense since the Kencho he knew was a person who would always make sure that people around him were all having fun. Hearing this, Kencho admitted that he actually wanted to be a stand-up comic because he wanted a job where he could sincerely entertain his clients. Afterwards, Akira urges him to jump, escape from the zombies, and be the stand-up comic that he wanted to be. Kencho finally jumped before taking off everything and going buck naked. Akira couldn't stop himself from laughing after seeing this. However, Kencho realized that his jump was short, and he barely managed to hold on to the edge of the building. Kencho panicked as he thought Akira hadn't realized that he wasn't joking anymore, and he asked himself if he would actually die buck naked. But after he lost his grip, Akira grabbed his wrist and pulled him up. Akira was shocked when Kencho started crying. He thought Kencho was bitten by zombies, but he screamed in pain while complaining that his balls got scraped. While drinking, Akira mentioned that he didn't expect Kencho to cry out like a baby while buck naked. But Kencho responded that it was highly sophisticated new material, inspired by his rebirth as an entertainer. Akira refuted that it wasn't new since he was always doing buck-naked jokes, but Kencho told him that he would be doing it more often from now on. And he was excited to do it on stage, so he asked Akira if he had any connections from work. But Akira pretended he had completely forgotten about his previous work. So Kencho reminded him that he looked worse than a zombie after working for an exploitative company. In response, Akira made fun of Kencho for crying even though he was supposed to be a stand-up comic. Afterwards, Kencho mentioned how amazing Akira was, and he also added that guys like Akira who quit their jobs, drop everything, and move on with their lives tend to be really successful. And he even thought Akira might be the person who would save them from the zombie infection. However, Akira thought it was impossible, and Kencho agreed. Then Kencho said that he had thought of something new for his stand-up comedy, and Akira was certain that Kencho was getting naked again with his new idea. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and look forward to the next part.